But now that we've seen the withdrawal of the partisan and botched appointment of Madeleine Meilleur, we are left with an interim language commissioner and an ethics commissioner whose term is close to an end. And of course, we haven't forgotten that the ethics commissioner is currently investigating the Prime Minister. So given the Liberal Party track record on appointments, which McGuinty-Wynne Liberal can we expect Jerry Butts to appoint as ethics commissioner?
The right honourable Prime Minister.
I find it humorous that the party opposite is actually criticizing on appointments because the fact of the matter is they completely botched the Supreme Court's appointment, which is so important. No Prime Minister had ever botched it as much as the previous Prime Minister had. We were pleased that we were able to do something that a lot of people said weren't possible, which is find an extraordinary Supreme Court justice from Newfoundland who was bilingual. These are the kinds of things that we look for and we take seriously the responsibility of nominating the best possible people for the posts right across this country.
The honourable member for Perth Wellington.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I thought my question was on the Ethics Commissioner, not the Supreme Court. But with this Prime Minister, it's all socks, no action. What we are left with is an Ethics Commissioner whose term is close to an end. She is currently investigating the Prime Minister himself. Right. We have no faith that this government will nominate someone who's truly impartial and nonpartisan, who is associate officer of this Parliament. Will the Prime Minister take the advice of his own botched official languages commissioner and ensure that any appointment has the support and the consent of all recognized parties in this House?
Right honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we're proud of the independent nominations process that we've put in place. It is open and available for all Canadians to apply, whether it's through the extraordinary appointments we've made to the Senate or the outstanding appointment we made to the Supreme Court. We're going to continue to live up to the high expectations that Canadians have. Unfortunately, as we've seen, the members opposite like to play partisan games, but we will stay focused on merit-based appointments that look like Canada. That's what Canadians expect.
The Honourable Opposition House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, this is painful to watch. Madam Meilleur just withdrew her name, confirming exactly what we have been saying all along, that she is too partisan for this appointment. Now, the Prime Minister has a choice. He can learn, he can show just a little bit of humility and say maybe he made a mistake, and he can apologize, and he can confirm that the next appointment of the Ethics Commissioner, for example, will not be a partisan appointment. Could he do that just once, show a moment of humility?
Right honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this government has been pleased to reach across the aisle to appoint special advisors, special counsellors, and counsel on various things. We are pleased that we've been able to highlight the breadth of merit that is available for nominations to great positions across this government. We've refused to politicize the appointments the way the previous government used to do, and quite frankly, where the partisan yelling of the members opposite has taken us today. We recognize the extraordinary service that Madeleine Meilleur has always offered to minority language communities, and we look to find someone just as qualified as she was.
Opposition House Leader.
Well, in one of those appointments, namely Kim Campbell, he forgot was the Prime Minister.
Exactly.
So that was a big mistake. Mr. Speaker, on this appointment, the Prime Minister has embarrassed the Heritage Minister, he's embarrassed himself, and Madame Meilleur has had to withdraw her name from this process. We are asking the Prime Minister for a very simple commitment, because frankly, he can't be trusted on this. Will he commit to Canadians that appointments for officers of Parliament will not be political, especially the Ethics Commissioner, who's investigating him at this moment?
Right honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, after 10 years of Stephen Harper's government, Canadians needed an approach that was less partisan, more based on merit, more based on...
Order. It must be Wednesday, I think. The Honourable Prime Minister has some more time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Canadians know that they deserve an open nominations process based on merit that is willing to recognize the full diversity of our country. That's exactly what we're focused on. That's exactly what we're delivering for Canadians.